Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Poolshed Games. It is the Merc
And the Lich Lord.
here, and today we are basically going to tell you a little bit about the game we just played.
Yeah.
Which we played a game of Dystopian Wars.
Another game of Dystopian Wars.
Game. Here's the thing: when we get on a Spartan Games kick, like when we first got Uncharted Seas, we played it for like 2 months straight. Every chance we got to game, like 3 or 4 games a night.
That's pretty much what is happening with Dystopian Wars right now. We're
Pretty much.
kind of addicted.
Yeah.
We were both in school this week, so we didn't have a chance to get together and play. But we got together today, Friday, and we played a game of Dystopian Wars. I actually got a new army, which is, or I should say, a new fleet, which is really awesome. I got the Ottoman Empire, which the main reason I got this army is because we have a group right now of roughly, right now we have 3 people for sure that are playing.
Who have committed.
Have bought armies.
That's us and our buddy Dom.
Right. But we also have one other guy who is probably going to buy a fleet also. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't sure what he was going to get, so I was like, what would he probably not get, and what do I like that he probably won't get? So after narrowing it down, I decided on the Ottoman Empire. And after the game, I was pretty impressed.
I played FSA. I played my Yanks. I was gonna play my Russians, but I like the Russians, and they're a strong fleet. But I feel compared to like the FSA, that the Russians are a little one-dimensional. I mean,
yeah, I can definitely see that. I mean,
it's kind of like the orcs were in Uncharted Seas. I keep you in my 4.
Yeah.
I pound you with my 4 guns, and I ram you, or I board you. It's what it is.
Which, honestly, I think the Ottomans would have been pretty good against them, because they're strong in Range Band 4, and Range Band 2 and Range Band 3 also. They're also strong, obviously, in Range Band 1, but...
you're not that good in Range Band 1, are you?
Not as good as, like, most battleships, but the fact that they're all-around redoubtable...
On your broadsides.
On my broadsides, which this is a very heavy broadside army. They only have 2 turrets, and that is on their battleship.
I will say, fighting against them was a lot like kind of fighting against an Uncharted Seas fleet.
Yeah. And, one thing I thought was really interesting is the fact that having a navy that's all broadside really changes the whole dynamic of the game. Instead of going straight at it, it almost has a circular motion instead of just kind of, going up and firing off, which I thought that was kind of interesting.
To kind of give an overview and a recap of how the game went, it was starter set games. Yep. I played the starter fleet for the Yanks. He played the starter set for the Ottomans. I got first turn. Basically, the game sort of went... my fighter planes, I tried to take his mine layers, because instead of bombers, they have mine layers. I tried to take them out as quickly as possible with my flyers. I had 2 fighter wings. I sort of tasked my frigates, which, I don't know, I think that the FSA frigates are a little dinky, but I charged them with kind of going dead ahead and just disrupting your line. Yeah. The thing I thought was most interesting was the, duel that the battleships had.
It was a pretty long-range duel, actually. I mean, it took place pretty much in Range Band 3 and 4. Yeah,
I don't think I ever closed within Range Band 2 or 1 of your battleship.
No, I mean, I was pretty strong in Range Band 4. 3 and 4.
Yeah.
But in Range Band 3, I think I have, 6 or 7 dice, I think. And so that was... And they're redoubtable, plus you have a really awesome rule for the Ottomans, which is Sustained Assault. I think it's Assault. It might be Sustained Attack.
Sustained Fire.
Sustained Fire, which allows you to reroll a certain amount of dice that you miss. So their battleship has Sustained Fire 3, so you can reroll 3. So in essence, in Range Band 3, if you're rolling 7 dice, you're actually rolling 10, because you can reroll those 3.
What it basically came down to in the fight between our battleships was the fact that I managed to get my cruisers in there, and my cruisers had the advantage on yours because they have turrets.
Yeah.
And I was able to put the final blow on the battleship with my cruisers, because really at that point it was down to whoever did the next critical on each other's battleship was going to bring down their battleship.
I think the turn after my battleship was destroyed. I destroyed your battleship with my cruisers, and then my cruisers kind of got whittled away because you still had a lot of frigates, and you had a cruiser left. And
see, I think
that pretty much decided the game at that point.
I think one of the downsides that I felt to your Ottomans was you give up a unit of frigates for another cruiser.
Yeah. Which the 4 cruisers is powerful, but I almost feel like having the 3rd unit of frigates makes you a little bit more maneuverable on the. And
it gives you a little bit to like protect you against that pack hunter.
Right. Exactly.
Not that frigates have pack hunter the rule, but if you get into that mentality of treating your groups of frigates, if you put like 2 groups into a pack, and you're hunting in packs.
It's not like heavy hitting; it's slow sustained, like 1-2 points every turn.
And in range band 1, like I said, the American frigates I think are dinky. But even in range band 1, 2 of them have 6 dice. If you have a unit of 3, that's 8 dice. You can get a real lucky hit with 8 dice on even a battleship.
Yeah. And I will say one thing about the Ottomans also is that the mines, comparing the mine layers compared to
like my A-17s.
Bombers, like the A-17s, which Ottomans don't have bombers. They have basically planes that drop mines, which mines are very, very good, especially if you can
They're good
move
to
them
not.
around.
They're good like
board
control.
Yeah. But they don't seem to pack quite the same punch as like a bomber.
Yeah. Like I was
mostly because they're a little bit weaker. I mean, they're basically a flying frigate instead of a flying cruiser. But
I was really kind of surprised. Like the AA capabilities and like the damage reduction and things of my bombers didn't really come in any other games we played. But like the A-17 has 5 anti-aircraft dice. Yeah. It has a damage rating of 5, and I think the critical is 6.
Yeah,
or something like that. It's a really sturdy little plane.
Oh yeah.
I was really just surprised by that.
So
the other thing I thought was kind of nasty about the Ottomans was, granted, you don't get it very often because you don't have a lot of dice for your turrets or your volley guns.
Yeah.
But that corrosive is kind of nasty because
definitely.
That gives you the ability, like early on, if you can like just get some pegging hits and get a corrosive marker on an enemy vessel, they have to roll die, and if they don't roll that 1, 2, or 3, they take a point of damage because it's eating away at their ship.
But yeah, in the end, the Americans won, but it was a very close battle. Battle is a very fun battle.
It was a great battle, and I would say
really enjoyed it.
From that game, I personally think that if you were to like play team games and you played Ottomans and the Americans together, I think it would be a pretty amazing combination.
I agree. But that pretty much does it for the discussion on that. I will show you the models. Why don't we
show you what some of the...
Yeah, I thought the models were great. They aren't painted at all, which I apologize for that. But I just put them together.
We ran out of primer.
But that is their battleship, which, yes, they actually have skimmer. They're skimmers.
They're kind of like the French. They have the skimming. Well, yeah, show the top.
The top.
Yeah, there you go. That's where all like the good stuff is.
Yeah, that's I really like the design of the model. It's almost like a floating city, kind of
cathedral.
I mean mosque. I guess
I'll
in the case of
mosque. They're supposed to be Middle Eastern. Yeah.
And the second one, the cruisers are also pretty cool. And we'll go through the whole fleet, but I thought the cruisers were pretty cool also.
I think
from the top.
The like towers add a lot to how they look.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the models and. Yeah.
And again, got to throw out there Spartan Games. I don't know if it's their packing people that kind of make mistakes once in a while, but you got an extra plane and an extra mine?
Yeah, they made the good mistakes because.
Yes, like I said, good mistakes.
We got the box here. There's supposed to be 8 mines, which I got 9, and there's supposed to be 10 little fighter bases. And I got 11 of them, I think.
Which isn't really helpful unless you get a carrier.
Right. But I mean, it's a few extra things where it's like, okay, I'll take it. But
now, the one thing I noticed, it's kind of a downside. They are an alliance fleet.
Yeah.
And like looking through the book, they're not fleshed out quite like the Russians or the Covenant because they don't have an aircraft carrier. You know what I mean? They don't have like a a naval aircraft carrier. They're missing some things.
Yeah,
and I figure that's probably the way all of the all the Alliance fleets are. They're missing certain parts.
Yeah.
So that if you wanted to,
And the only you don't get the cards with them either, which is, I mean, that's no big deal. But they do give you a rule book,
a little like rule book, like yay big. It's,
right.
Spartan gives you everything you need to play.
Right, which I was going to get that out, but it's like on the other end of the table, so yeah, I'm not going to worry about it. But yeah, they give you like a rule book, and it gives you the fluff of the army, like the history, and it gives you the rules and everything. So,
and the other thing, I thought they were different enough, like that they were really interesting, and it makes me curious about the other Alliance fleets. Yeah. Like, I'd love to see the Australians' rules. I'm really tempted. I'm really tempted by the Australians or the Chinese to get a third and final fleet.
Gotta cut it off
Third
somewhere.
and final. If you don't stop, it's Spartan Games. You'll end up with every fleet they have.
Yeah. That's actually how we did Uncharted Seas. It was just...
Well, that's because in the beginning, we were at the War Storm, we're like, oh, look, all the starter sets that are out are right here. Let's just, we'll buy this. Right.
Which, I mean, it wasn't really that expensive, I think.
No.
Because they were just starting out.
And at the time, we had full-time jobs and we worked going to college.
Which always makes things easier.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think that's about it for... I will say, too, as far as the Alliance nations, that the Italian states are really cool also. Mm-hmm. I really like the way they look. But
the one thing I kind of want to throw out there that... I'm just going to say this. The thing that impresses me with Spartan is right on that box... It says "Made in Britain."
Yeah,
and I guess it's just a little thing to me that I think it's kind of cool that they're doing their molding, their modeling in house. They're not shipping it off to China to make super cheap models.
Right. And you can tell. I mean, the detail in the models is amazing.
Oh yeah.
And I've always been like, it's one of those things with getting into a new game, especially with I won't say it's small, but
a company you've never heard of before.
In comparison to like Games Workshop,
something that's monolithic like GW.
A smaller company, you're always like, I don't know how their models are going to be. Mm-hmm. But I was very impressed with their models, and still am very impressed every time I buy them.
And I will say that the models have come quite a way since the beginning when it was Uncharted Seas. Because all the Uncharted Seas fleets we have, they're like the version 1, and I have seen the new box sets that they're putting out for Uncharted Seas, which are amazing. I really wish that we didn't have the fleets we have, so we could just buy the new ones anyway. But they're amazing, and I've never worked real heavily with resin before. Right. And all of Spartan's models are, I think in the beginning they were just plain resin. I think now they're a restic, like a resin-plastic mix. And you don't, I've not seen air bubbles. You don't really get brittle pieces. No. It's nice material, and I guess we kind of sound like Spartan fanboys, but it is what it is.
Believe me,
it is what it is.
If we had gripes with Spartan games, we would tell you. But
I will say that their rule books sometimes are confusing.
I'll say, don't want to get on a gripe list right now, but their rule books could use a different format. Yeah. That's my biggest gripe with. That's
anything
from Spartan games. Is their rule books are a little hard to follow.
The major complaint.
But I think that does it for our discussion on
kind of
battle.
the main talk of the video. Although I will say the FSA won.
Yeah.
Though as I was saying to the Lich Lord, if it was actually a real naval engagement, the game would have lasted 2 turns.
Yeah.
After the first 2 criticals that we each took on our battleships, the battle groups were like, oh, disengage. Retreat. This is too much. Too much. Can't lose the battleships. But that was the end of the game. It's not like I had a lot left. I had a full squad of frigates, 2 understrength squads of frigates, a cruiser, and a wounded bomber and a regular bomber.
Yeah.
That was it. I didn't have a whole bunch of stuff.
But yeah, that pretty much finishes it for that. But just, I guess, to end this video, kind of a long conclusion to this video, we have some updates.
Sorta, yeah.
I got a couple board games this week.
Mm-hmm.
I got Letters from Whitechapel, which I've never played before, but it was a game that was out a long time ago, and it kind of went out of circulation. Mm-hmm. I forget the name of the company who produced the game. But Fantasy Flight kind of took it up upon themselves,
like they do with many games,
to redo it. And I looked through the rulebook a little bit, and it surprised me because the rulebook's pretty thin.
Oh yeah?
Which it's always surprising with Fantasy Flights when you get a thin rule book.
Yeah, when it's not like 40 pages plus.
It's probably like 10 to 15 pages. It might be more. I'm not sure.
When it's not something the college bookstore would charge you like $80 for.
And there was a board, just the board of the game, and there was like 5 or 6 tokens you had to push out, and that was it.
Wow.
I was like, okay.
Now, I will say I'm interested to see how that works 2-player. Because I was reading the back of the box, and the box says it's a cat and mouse game between the people playing the detectives and the person playing Jack the Ripper.
Which the game is kind of like, it's Whitechapel, where the Jack the Ripper murders happened during the Victorian period, and
but the thing that kind of struck me is if you're only 2 players, you're gonna know who's the detective and who's Jack the Ripper.
Right. Which there might be special rules for 2 players.
Yeah, it might be a special game scenario for 2 players. Because it says it's for 2 to 6 players.
And I also picked up Settlers of Catan, which I've actually never played. It's like one of the biggest games out there. Board games.
I played it
never played
once. I played it back when I was like 12.
Yeah.
And the game got interrupted because one of the guys at the store had one of the stupid big jugs of soda from like Wendy's. And it got knocked over. And we're like, oh god! Everybody clean up the pieces so that it doesn't get ruined. That was my experience with Settlers of Catan.
Yeah, I've never played Catan. And I really want to play Catan because it's like a game that everybody has played apparently but me.
Yeah.
So,
heck, even I played it.
Yeah. But that's about it for the other games I got.
This week was the first week of school.
Yeah.
So
I realized right now I'm supposed to be doing a book video, but I just didn't have enough time to do one this week.
I was gonna try to get the first Quest for Gaming at College up, but that didn't work out because it was the first week of school. There was a lot of just shenanigans, and I had a class canceled on me, and I was trying to find another one, and that didn't work out. So gotta love school. You pay all that money, and they can still find ways to screw you over. It'll be worth it in the end, though. You should get a refund for that one class. Nope. We pay a flat rate for 12 to 18 credits.
Really?
Yep. My advisor actually told me that the best thing you should be doing is to take 18 credits every semester, so you're getting the most for your money.
Would that be 6?
That would be 6 classes. Yeah, that'd be a little too much. But the only thing I'm worried about only having 4 classes, I might have too much time on my hands. But then again, as I will be mentioning in the Quest for Gaming at College when I do that video, I'm going to be doing a lot of DMing this year. I've already been approached by my old gaming group at college. They want to do it again. And I know you and a couple people here at home would kind of like to do an RP, which means like every other Friday I'll be running a game.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be DMing my little butt off.
Which is so
yeah. And I get to play in a game too. So
yeah. But yes, you will be seeing college gaming.
The Quest for Gaming at College!
And I will be doing another book review. I'm not sure what yet. I think I have one in mind, but yeah, we'll see. I just didn't get a chance to actually, because I read the book probably like 2 years ago, and I wanted to go back through and make sure I had all the stuff right before I did a review, so I wasn't stumbling all over myself.
I think that's respectable.
But yeah. But I think that's probably about it for this.
At some point we might be getting the Malifaux 2.0 rulebook.
Yeah.
Because Weird Miniatures has just redone the entire system. They're putting out new plastics. So I'm kind of interested in that. And I think we've pretty much decided amongst ourselves that we are into this 10, 15 millimeter. I think it's 10 millimeter for Dystopian Wars scale, and the $80 starter set for Drop Zone Commander is pretty tempting. I think we've decided we're going to go halves and pick that up at some point. Yeah. It drops in September, which is a day away.
Yeah. Which
I don't know when it's dropping in September, but yeah.
By the time you watch this,
it'll be September.
Yeah.
We don't upload the same day we record. We're horrible people.
We record one day.
Yeah. Please don't flog us for that.
Somebody comes in the door. Ah!
Oh dear God!
Wait a minute. But I think that should probably do it for this episode.
I think that's it. I think we actually talked a little longer than we planned on.
Yeah, this was going to be a short video until we start rambling.
We do ramble, and I think we gave a pretty decent account of what happened in the game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It was no way we're doing turn by turn because we would have had to stop after each turn, write down what happened.
Yeah, which we just kind of gave you the highlights of the game.
Yeah. I can figure out how to get the digital camera we have to work. It doesn't take recordings, but it does photos.
Yeah.
We kind of need to do like a turn-by-turn photos of what's going on. But I think that's going to do it for us here at Poolshed Games. Like we said, it's been the first week of college, and we kind of want to go unwind, so we're going to go hit the bar. That's what we do. So if you like what we're doing here at Poolshed Games, give us a thumbs up down in the section.
The doobly-doo, as some would say.
The doobly-doo.
That might be patented at this point.
It might be. Please don't sue us. The wibbly-wobbly thing down there. Or leave us a comment. Comments are always great, positive or negative, as long as you try to be civil. And if you really like what we're doing here, subscribe. Subscribing brings a smile to our face.
Yep.
And we will try to sub you back because it just seems fair.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to go. Thanks for checking us out, and we'll see you next time here on Poolshed Games.